Hey everyone, Mr. DVB here. I'm being joined today by
Andrew.
Drewski, and we're going to be talking about Avatar: The Way of Water, the highly anticipated sequel to James Cameron's Avatar, 13 years after the original was released. So before we talk about Way of Water, we're going to very briefly give our thoughts on the first Avatar, since I've never really talked about it on this channel before. It was released in theaters back in September. We both saw it. It wasn't our first time seeing the movie, but we hadn't seen it in a long time. I hadn't watched it in probably close to 10 years.
Probably the same around.
Around the same for Andrew. So it was nice to watch it before seeing the second one, but, see it on the big screen, see it in 3D, the way it was, meant to be seen and everything, as opposed to just rewatching at home. Because there's been points over the years where I was thinking to myself, I should rewatch it, just never did. And then this year, leading into the sequel, I really wanted to rewatch it, but knowing there was going to be the re-release, I was like, I gotta hold off, see it in theaters as opposed to just watching it at home. And I'm glad I did that because it was really awesome experiencing the first film in theaters. And it definitely got me more excited for this film.
Same way, same thing. Good job, Disney.
Yeah, because I wasn't hyped for this movie going into this year. I was gonna see it obviously, but it wasn't anywhere near the top of my list. But after rewatching the first one, my excitement definitely grew, and I was quite looking forward to this film. So having seen it, I'm happy to report that I really, really liked Avatar: The Way of Water. I would go as far as to say that I loved it. I think from a purely technical standpoint, just like the first one, this is a masterpiece. The visual effects are incredible. Sound, all that stuff's awesome. People are still going to have complaints about the story and the writing, but otherwise, super well made.
Feel the same way as Dawson does. Honestly, looks great, sounds great, sounds beautiful in IMAX. I'd recommend going to see it in IMAX if you can. Yeah, pretty much just the same as Dawson said. I don't really have much to say other than that. We'll dive into specific parts later. So
yeah, but technical level, it's exactly what you would come to expect from Avatar and everything. Story-wise, we'll just discuss this very quickly. There's not a whole lot to talk about here because it is a very similar story to the first. Once again, we're following the character of Jake Sully. Obviously, he is fully a Na'vi at this point. He's no longer human. There's no going into those machines and being transported into an avatar's body anymore.
Yep, he's purely a Na'vi now.
Purely a Na'vi. He has his own family. This movie takes place, I want to say, 15 years after the first. I don't think they explicitly state it, but it's definitely been 13 or 15 years or so.
Exactly.
They have a couple of kids. They have 4 kids, and it's exploring their family. They have to move to a new area because the Sky People are back. People from Earth are back, destroying the planet. So they move to a water central area, and similar to the first movie, where in that film Jake Sully's learning how to be a Na'vi. In this movie, the Jake Sully family, or the Sully family, is learning how to adapt to the Way of Water.
Ooh,
hence the movie.
Because he's a fish out of water.
Fish out of water, literally this time around.
Literally.
So, similar story, but it didn't really bother me. I do think that's going to be the common complaint you're going to hear, though, is, this movie story is so basic and whatever. But to me, the story isn't the most crucial thing. I think you can have a very basic story, but as long as you have good characters or other engaging elements, then to me, at the end of the day, that's what matters most.
This movie definitely has engaging elements visually wise.
Oh, visually, and from a character standpoint, I would say this is improved over the first. This time around, instead of just focusing on Jake Sully and Neytiri, this time we have their whole family. They have kids. I liked all the kids. I liked the dynamic between them. That whole family dynamic that this movie has, I really liked, and I think it was stronger than the romance that the movie had in the first. I did like the romance in the first movie, but I think as a whole, this was more interesting. I liked Jake Sully as a father. I liked how his character was in this movie, although I will say it's not as focused on him and Neytiri as I would have thought.
Yeah, more focused on the kids, I think.
Much more focused on the kids. In particular, the younger son who...
Nowak, I think his name is.
I think his name is Nowak, something like that. I would probably say he's the main character, it seemed like. And I really liked his character. I really liked the whole family, like I said, minus Spider, who is this humanoid kid that they kind of adopt. Didn't really like his character. I thought he had probably the worst dialogue in the movie, and probably some of the worst acting. He was not very good in my opinion.
That dialogue led to a lot of our problems for the movie, and there isn't a lot of problems, so
Yeah, the dialogue is my biggest issue of the film, like, easily. Story, I don't really care about. Dialogue's definitely the biggest issue. I would say the dialogue in this is worse than it is in the first. There's just a lot of really, like, cringeworthy lines. They say bro in this more than I think I heard in my entire high school life.
There's probably a higher bro count than there is a kill count in this movie.
Yeah, probably. They say it so many times, it was kind of hilarious. And maybe that's just how James Cameron thinks every teenager talks.
Yeah.
It gets said so much, it was kind of hilarious.
Doesn't take away from the fact, though, the movie's really good.
Oh, yeah, no. It's just something that I found kind of funny.
Yeah.
But other characters, villain, light spoiler here, but is kind of shown in the trailers and is in some of the marketing. This does have the same villain as the first. We have the same colonel, military guy. This time around, though, he is an avatar. They explain in the movie that back on Earth, they, as kind of like a precautionary thing, they had, like, their mind kind of put on, like, a data chip or whatever, and then implanted into these...
Like, their memories and feelings.
Yeah,
and
their
all
memories
that
and
good
everything were put into, like, a chip and then implanted in, like, avatars that were made for them. So, he has the same memories, he just doesn't know how he died, right? Because he would have had his clone made prior to his death.
So they were definitely preparing to come back even if they got booted out. So they had a backup plan.
So they did have a backup plan, and getting him back as the villain was enjoyable. He has the same kind of, like, cheesy army guy dialogue. Him and, like,
Hoorah!
his squad. Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of, like, goofy stuff. That dialogue I don't mind. Like, it's goofy, but it's entertaining. It was just kind of some of the dialogue with the kids I thought got a little bit annoying at times.
Yeah, army guys aren't annoying. Kids are annoying.
Yeah, but still, having him back as the villain I thought was really cool. The performances were good in the movie for the most part, just besides, like, a couple of the characters. But for the most part, really liked the family and all that stuff. Visual effects. I mean, we kind of already touched on this at the start, saying it looks amazing, but it does.
It was way ahead of its time in 2009. It just looks even better now.
Yeah, like back in 2009, it was the best looking movie up to that point for visual effects, and I would say that Way of Water is the best looking movie in 2022. I'd say at this point in time, this is the new, like, standard for CGI.
This is the quota, and this is what you want your movie to look like. You want it to look as good as this if you got using hella CGI.
Yeah,
Thor, Love and Thunder, take some fucking notes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Take some notes, man.
This looks.
You've got $1 billion company, and the CGI looks like shit.
If Thor: Love and Thunder was to be nominated for visual effects alongside this, that would just be hilarious.
It'd be basically a fuck you.
They did they didn't nominate it. Like, Disney, when they handed, like, for consideration, they actually...
Please tell me it wasn't for CGI.
No, that was one of the ones. They put, like, director, best picture, which it's not going to get nominated for a thing.
Nope.
But...
this will definitely get CGI nomination.
Oh, this will get it and win it.
Yeah.
This is...
The like we said, this is what you want your movie to look like if you're using CGI.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
The water...
I was just going to say, the water physics are so good here. Like, there's these amazing shots of, like, the landscapes and all that stuff, but even just smaller shots. Like, there's a close-up of a character when he was tying a thing around his hand.
Oh, yeah.
And when he was riding one of the sea creatures. Just, like, the water physics, the way, like... I want to drink that water.
Bro, that water is so crisp, man. Yeah. It's like the perfect greeny blue, like what you want water to look like. Like, if you go on vacation, you're like, I want to spend a shitload of money for a nice beach and some nice water. Go to Pandora.
Go to Pandora.
Yeah, you want to go to Pandora. That shit's nice.
It'll take couple centuries to get there, but it's worth the wait.
It's worth the wait, man. That water.
Yeah, no, it looks damn good.
The colors are so bright too.
Oh, and the colors,
they just pop. They're so nice.
That's the thing too, is like we saw this in 3D, and 3D does like remove some of the color, right? Like if you take your glasses off, it does dim it. So I can imagine seeing this movie in like Dolby, where you have like Dolby Vision, which is like an HDR thing. Bro, the colors, like, once this comes out on 4K and stuff, it's gonna look so damn good with on like an OLED screen.
Yeah,
it's gonna look incredible.
It'd just be popping at you, man. Those fish, nice and colorful. All this, because I know in the forest in the beginning, there's a bunch of like there's a
like
lot
fireflies and stuff.
Yeah, fireflies, lights, and all that stuff that kind of like enhance the forest. Dude, that stuff just looks so good, man.
Yeah, it looks incredible. And sounds great too. Like the sound design was awesome. There's there's like the action scenes, the explosions, everything, deep bass.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Like IMAX doesn't have Dolby Atmos or anything, so it's not as immersive as seeing a film in Dolby. But I was still like, there was many moments where you'd be hearing like bullets flying all around like every speaker.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
It feels like you were actually in Pandora, getting shot at, and you're a Na'vi.
Yeah.
So
I looked at my hand and I was blue for like a portion of the movie. But
sure, you just weren't having hypothermia, my guy.
I was actually
opposite.
Anything,
really hot.
I was gonna say, if I think I was warm, I should have taken this off.
Yep.
But yeah, visually fantastic, and like he said, the colors are amazing. Like you got tons of blues, tons
nice
of
greens,
purples, and everything.
Greens, yeah.
Everything really stands out. I don't think. Okay, so the visual effects are obviously better than the first. I think the first had more variety, is what I would say.
I think so.
Variety in locations, because in this, there's not as much.
There's a lot. It's just a lot of areas of water with different backdrops.
Yeah, like different
rocks,
creatures.
Some cliffs.
The first one does have because the first one has like the big forest, the big tree, the pink tree and stuff, and then it has like
the rock areas where they're flying.
The floating rocks. So I think the first has more variety, but this one just has even better effects overall. Like, and that's not to knock on this one, saying like it could have had more stuff. I still think everything we saw here was
the whole movie is called The Way of Water. 75% of this movie is going to be in the water. Yeah. So take the time, make the water look great, and that's what they did.
Yeah, it looks outstanding. But yeah, like just technical level, like I said, is flawless. It does a great job at like massaging all of your senses, sight.
Massaging all your senses. What?
No, sight. Touch, because the 3D's in your face and you feel like you can grab things.
Yeah. You
can smell the ocean.
Yeah. What about taste? That's the sense.
You can taste the Na'vi.
My guy. You're telling me you would taste a Na'vi?
You're saying you wouldn't?
Didn't say I wouldn't, but I know someone that would.
Yes, our friend Fraser has stated that he would bang a Na'vi chick.
So, we're undecided currently, but we would like to know in the comments if you would do the dirty with some Na'vi women. Let us know.
Let us know. So this is for a big research. We're doing a big project on this.
Yeah, we're asking everyone.
Big thesis.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it looks incredible. Obviously, that's not like a surprise whatsoever. But yeah, the world building here is insane. Like,
we've only seen a couple spots.
We've only seen 2 movies, right? Like, I cannot wait to see. I don't know what their plans are for the future films.
Yeah.
We were kind of discussing this. I would love to see like a lava location or like
some volcanoes. Snow would be really cool.
Snow would be like ice caves and shit. Like, there's so much possibilities for what they could do visually here. So a part of me actually, like, you know what? If there does end up being 5, cool.
Make every different.
5 is a lot. Like, a trilogy makes more sense, but I feel like there's definitely so much you can do visually. Like, so many different biomes and whatever. You could do like a big mushroom kingdom. But yeah, you could totally do all kinds of things.
It seems like they're kind of sticking to like elements. Like your forest was your earth element. You had the sky element in the first one of them flying those things around. That's air, sky. Now you had water.
So fire is what you got next. And then, like I said, I think they could totally do snow and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be so cool to see them like thrive in snow. Like maybe they are a bit bigger. Like, because there's different. Of course, there's different tribes of Na'vi, and you get to meet.
Yeah, like in this one, they're like just their color's different. They're like more like a greenish.
But they're built different.
But they're built different too. They've got kind of like fins or like their bodies. They're better for swimming underwater.
Yeah. So what would maybe a fire element Na'vi look like?
Maybe they'd be like grayish brown.
Yeah, they might be like they could be grayish brown. They could, and be what's it called? Like intense heat doesn't affect them as much as like maybe the forest group. Yeah, more adaptable. And then like the ice one, they could be a bit bigger because it's super cold and they adapt better in the ice. It'd be interesting to see them explore that.
There's tons of stuff they could do with the world of Pandora, and I'm all there for it. It just depends. Like, is it going to be the same story every time, or are they going to be able to find something? I think they will eventually like branch out the story a bit more. We'll get into that a bit into spoilers because I do have some kind of predictions for where I think they might go in the future. Yeah. But
one of my buddies were saying on the ride back home, he was like, "What's the odds they end up going to like Earth in one of the movies, like near the end?"
That could be interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That would be kind of...
It wouldn't make sense because they kind of explain why they're there. They need their natural resources because their world is dying. They explained that in the first one.
But maybe if we see more of Earth. Like, yeah. Because Earth is in the director's cut of the first one. like the extended cut, there is a bit of Earth. You see the opening is a bit different. You see like Jake Sully gets into a fight at a bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've never seen that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, the opening. But yeah, world building, all that kind of stuff was awesome. The Wonderwall locations, sound design, action scenes. So this is one thing I will say is that I think the action was more frequent in the first. Like it happened more often. This one, there's a couple of action scenes, and then really it's just waiting for the third act. The third act is where everything goes down, and the third act's phenomenal. But the first two acts actually don't have as many action scenes, which I was fine with. I was still super engaged with
it didn't feel boring
with the world and everything. Yeah, it's a 3-hour and like 12-minute movie. Doesn't feel like it. It does feel long for sure, but I remember checking my phone just to see what time it was, and it was like the 2-hour mark of the movie, and I was like, oh, I thought we were like an hour and 15 in. Like, it is well paced. There is a few moments where the pacing was a bit off, and it wasn't for reasons of feeling slow. I found the first half an hour almost a little rushed or kind of jumpy. Like it starts off with like a voiceover, and then there's like a year later skip, and then.
But to make it that year later skip, they kind of just faded out the screen to black. That's okay.
Which is fine. But they do the fade to black
multiple times
in the movie.
And it doesn't feel
just
right.
Just for scene transitions, and I've never been a fan of that editing style. And so that was one thing. Also, there was a couple of scenes I felt were trimmed down. No key moments. It would just be moments where, like, for example, there's one character who's underwater and they're like seeing all this sea life and they're amazed, and it's like 10 seconds long, and then we cut to like the villain doing something, and then we cut back to this person, and it felt like the scene of the person like being amazed by everything should have been like 2 minutes. Like it was probably some big visual sequence, but they had to trim it down. There was just a couple of things. It wasn't like I felt like the story was ever cut down. It was just like some of those smaller moments, which isn't a big deal.
He probably had so much to show us in that movie, and he just couldn't fit it into
I'm
the
sure
time.
Everything they filmed.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Avatar 3 is 9 hours. There's 9 hours worth of stuff they shot, and they obviously have to cut it down.
Jeez.
But
nice little sip of Coke there.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper for myself.
Oh, Dr.
Pepper. But yeah, action scenes though, yeah, they're great. Not as frequent as they are in the first, but they're awesome. Especially the third act. Third act has just got some of the coolest moments I've seen.
Well, nothing beats like. What's it called? Primitive species just fighting humans, man. Love it. Nothing beats that.
No, it gets really awesome. There's some good kills.
Yeah.
I'd say it's more violent than the first one, I would say.
Oh, definitely.
Because there's some like humanoid characters who get like arrows shot through their head.
Yeah.
Which I liked. Yeah, it just really awesome stuff. All those elements. Okay, at this point.
Not much more to talk about without spoiling.
We'll give our final thoughts, and then we'll head into the brief spoilers. So final thoughts, yeah, I mean, like, I've said it all throughout this review, it's got a very basic story, similar to the first. My biggest issue with the movie was the dialogue. There is just a bit too many bros, and some of the dialogue is kind of cringy. I would say weaker dialogue than the first. Not the biggest deal, it was just something that at times I thought was kind of noticeable. I wasn't a huge fan of one character, didn't like the performance. So some things like that, but otherwise on technical level, fantastic. Incredible visual effects, great world building, really good score, awesome action scenes. So everything technical level is amazing. It just has an alright story and kind of iffy dialogue.
I feel the same way. If they got rid of some bros out of there, it might be ranked a bit higher, but I still don't think it takes away from the fact that it's visually a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Stories mediocre.
Nothing special, but I don't care.
Yeah, right. Like it doesn't take away from the movie.
People get hyped for like Ant-Man, Quantumania, and it's like
Marvel just redoes.
Do you think the story for that's going to be incredible? No. And so yeah, for me, I would have to give this movie probably a 9 out of 10. I think
take some bros out of there, James. It might make it a 10 out of 10.
Might make it a 10 out of 10.
DVB doesn't hand out 10s like that.
Not super frequently. Or if I do, I usually regret them.
Yeah, so get rid of the bros next time, and you got a DVB 10. That's worth something nowadays.
It is. You can put that on the Blu-ray.
Yeah. Certified 10 by DVB.
And then everybody's going to want to buy it. Yeah. Pacing, or all that stuff.
I didn't get to say how much.
Yeah, your rating, yeah.
Yeah. Same thing as Dawson. I'd give it about a 9.
9 out of 10.
Get rid of the bros, and you got yourself a Drewski 10.
And a Drewski 10. Yeah. So, that is our non-spoiler thoughts on Avatar. Now we're going to dive into spoilers. Really not a whole lot to talk about, to be honest, because there's not... I wouldn't say there's really a whole lot you can spoil in this movie.
everything. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But everything you see in the trailer happens in the movie, and it's really self-explanatory, and it leads into it well.
But that's not to say that the trailer spoils the movie.
No, it doesn't at all.
No, the trailer doesn't spoil the movie. It's just that there's not really a whole lot. Like, you can go into it, like, yeah, there's just not a lot that happens in this movie that's a spoiler. It's not like seeing an MCU movie where it's like, oh shit, they killed off this character and this character.
Yeah, most of what we're gonna be spoiling is just scenes that we really enjoyed in the movie.
Yeah.
So,
the only real spoiler things I can say is that the Colonel guy, the military villain, he has a human son.
That is Spider.
Named Spider, who was adopted by
the Na'vi.
Well, adopted by Sully's family. So he's kind of like their adopted son, although Neytiri doesn't really like him, or she doesn't dislike him, but
she doesn't trust him like she doesn't trust the humans.
Yeah, she says he deserves to be with his people, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Classic racism.
Yeah, and or just, would that be racism or speciesism?
Probably speciesism, actually.
If that's even a term, but yeah, and then.
Who knows?
And then, so his character was the one I wasn't a fan of, but you find out he's his son, and at the end of the movie, he chooses to save his dad from drowning. So he saves, when I say dad, I'm talking about the Colonel, because the Colonel's an avatar in this movie. So he saves him at the end. So he'll be back as the villain for the third one.
Most likely.
Which is cool. And also another villain in this movie that they didn't really explore much was there's, like, the new female leader. Like the new
she's interesting. We didn't see a lot of her. She was probably on the screen for about 5 or so minutes.
I imagine she'll be back in the next one as well. I think we'll see more of her character.
Because the humans don't pack up and leave.
No,
they're really not. Like they're a part of the movie, but they're not a part of the movie. If you know what I mean. Like you don't see them attack the Na'vi as much. You see the ex-Army Navy SEALs guys in avatar bodies attacking the Na'vi.
Yeah, you don't see the military doesn't have as huge of a presence in this movie. I'm sure they will in like the next one.
Yeah, 100%.
The last thing before we talk about just scenes we really liked, kind of like I was talking about, I had like a prediction or whatever. So there's one character in this movie which is I don't remember the name of her character. It's like they call her like
Kitty. Yeah.
Her name is Kiri, it says, but I think they call her Kitty or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe like
it's just
maybe their R sounds like T, like Kitty.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
That's probably what it is. It's probably pronounced like Kitty or something. I don't know. But her character, so I guess Grace, who is Sigourney Weaver's character, she was like the doctor in the first one. At the end of that movie, she dies. But her avatar body still exists, and I guess her avatar body got pregnant and gave birth to a child who they adopt, who is this character. They kind of joke in the movie that it's like they're like, oh, I think it's this guy's the father. So they implying that he just like had sex with an unconscious alien body. That's what I was like. What?
Yeah, it's kind of naughty.
I didn't really know I didn't really understand what they were trying to get at for like how this kid was created. My guess is that this kid was kind of like Anakin Skywalker situation. There's no father, and it was just created by, in this case, Aiwa. Because Kitty, her character is very much so like in touch with everything. Like she doesn't have to connect her braid to creatures. She's just very much so like understanding of them. She can last underwater a lot longer than other characters can, and she just seems to be much more drawn to the world. And she says that she's very close to Aiwa and she can hear her, and like other characters don't really believe her. So I feel like she is kind of a character like purely born out of
like Anakin was purely born out of midichlorians.
Yeah. So I think that's
Aiwa in human Na'vi form, technically.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the idea they're going with. So I think she's going to be a very integral part to the other films. And if they do end up making 5, the 5th one's called The Quest for Aiwa.
Oh, really?
And so I feel like she'll be a massive part of that movie because that just seems like the direction they're going, which I like. I liked her character a lot.
Yeah, she was...
My favorite character in this movie, she was one of them easily. The younger son who we spent a lot of time with.
Nowak.
Those are probably my 2 favorite characters here.
Yeah, I'd say still a fan of Jake Sully. I think he looks even cooler than in the first one. He's got like slick back dreads now and a ponytail. He looks fucking dope. He carries a fucking AR. he's more of like a modern Na'vi. Yeah. And then I'd probably say my second favorite character, I don't know, I kind of fucked with the water chief guy, the guy with the spear.
Yeah, he's pretty good. There's some good kills with him.
Yeah, he's fucking cool. He seemed like he was a G, so I like those 2. Those were probably my 2 favorite. I didn't mind the kids. So at some points I felt like they got a bit annoying, but I mean, they're kids. What can you do?
Yeah. And as for favorite scenes, okay, the whole third act is obviously fantastic.
So cool.
I really liked. There's this one scene where the Noak or whatever is underwater and
he's with this like whale creature thing.
Well, he's being attacked by this creature, and then this whale creature comes up and saves him. It was just a tense scene. It was well handled. There was one jump scare in the movie that got me. It was when they were in the forest, when the kids were sneaking away from the military guys, like when they first spot them.
Yeah.
They're sneaking away, and she's like, "We need to be quiet." And then it's just like, "Brah!" And the guy comes out, and I was just like, "Fuck!" Like,
You're like, shit.
I knew they were gonna get caught, but it was just so loud, and it was like, eek.
The fish scene that you were talking about. There's
That
always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish. I thought the exact same thing. When the bigger fish, the whale creature, came in and ate it, I was like, "There's always a bigger fish."
Classic Phantom Menace line right there.
Yeah, but
There's a lot of the scenes are really cool. It's hard to pick, your favorite scene because every scene looked so
because
good.
there's obviously so many phenomenal action scenes, but there's also just as interesting for me are all the visual scenes, and this movie's consistently visually spectacular. So I was always engaged from start to finish. Definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. Definitely one of the best theater experiences of the year for me. All around, really awesome, and I look forward to seeing what they do with the third one in 2024. It's supposed to come out. So
yeah, but
pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, with Dawson, a lot of, like you said, everything looked visually so good. I think my favorite scenes. There's one where you see it in the trailer where it's kind of a shot of him like upside down, like kind of holding on to that whale's.
That was a really nice shot.
That looked so cool. Everything around it, like they were kind of just dark, like they were kind of shadowy, and then like all the nice blue around them. That looked really good.
The shots where the camera's upside down and like where the base of the
hands,
like the base of the ocean, like when it's upside down, looks
and his hands going through the water. That's got to be probably my second favorite scene. Anything in the water, I'm telling you guys, looks so fucking good.
Yeah, the movie's visually
like
best looking movie I've ever seen from a CGI standpoint.
100%. And all the water scenes look so good, and that's honestly, that's 75% of the movie, so 75% of the movie is my favorite scene. So, there we go. Yeah. But yeah, overall, really great movie. Would watch it again, honestly. Might take my parents to go see it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it again because my brother hasn't seen it. I'll probably see it twice.
Yeah. It's definitely probably a 1 or 2 thing. I don't think I could sit through it a third time.
Yeah, I don't know. It is because it is long, but it's just a damn good experience.
Yeah.
All right, and before we wrap up this whole video, we are very quickly going to talk about, because there was a few trailers that were new attached to the movie.
Yes.
The first one is going to be the Oppenheimer trailer. So Oppenheimer is coming out next July. Quite a bit of movies coming out next July.
Yeah, it's going to be a packed month.
Well, the next year is great for movies.
Yeah.
Like the summer is packed. You got Guardians 3 in May. June you have Transformers, Indiana Jones 5, probably something else I'm missing. And then July you have
Oppenheimer.
You have Oppenheimer. You have Mission Impossible. You have I think The Marvels is supposed to come out in July.
Mm-hmm.
So gonna be a packed year, which is great.
Very excited.
Yeah, really much better summer this year than last year. Last year's summer was pretty weak.
I don't even remember what we had this summer, to be honest.
There was like Doctor Strange was like early May, and then there was like Top Gun, and Top Gun kind of just dominated, and there wasn't really anything else. So this year is definitely going to be better. And then I guess Thor and stuff. But oh, that's what else was in June was Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
Really, really big summer.
They dropped a trailer for that too recently, didn't they? Yeah.
So really big summer for movies. But Oppenheimer is one of my most anticipated movies of next year. It's probably my third most. I think my most is probably Indiana Jones, then probably Guardians, and then Oppenheimer. And yeah, the new Oppenheimer trailer, I thought it was going to be like a 6-minute preview like they did for Tenet and Dunkirk and all that stuff, but it was actually just a new trailer. But it showed us way more than the first trailer did.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that surprised me is not black and white. I heard like Nolan was talking about how it was like the first IMAX film to be shot in black and white, but the trailer's got color. There's a couple of black and white scenes, but otherwise it's color. So maybe only specific parts of the movie are going to be black and white.
Mm-hmm. Are they stripping those black and white scenes right out of like real meetings, teleconferences? Or they're all fake?
No, it'll be fake. But yeah, the trailer, we get to see Cillian Murphy, we get to see Matt Damon, we get like one
Isn't
line
Joshua Peck in that movie too? I swear to God, I saw him.
Josh Peck, I think.
Yeah, Josh fucking Peck, man.
Is he from Drake and Josh or something?
Yeah, that's the Josh from Drake and Josh. Yeah.
No, he's in it. And for like one line in the trailer, you probably couldn't tell it was him, but Robert Downey Jr.
I heard RDJ was in that.
Yeah,
too.
RDJ was in the trailer. So we got to see more of the cast in this trailer, which I liked. We didn't see I don't think there was any of Florence Pugh, what's her name? Who is it that everybody wants for Invisible Woman?
Emily Blunt.
Yeah, Emily Blunt. I don't think we see her in the trailer either, but stacked cast and really good trailer. It got me really excited. I know Nolan said recently that they recreated the first atomic bomb detonation practically.
Yeah, because he doesn't like using CGI.
He doesn't like using CGI.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't use a real nuke because of the radiation, but people are theorizing that they used the TNT equivalent, which I think I read is 25 tons of TNT.
Jesus.
Is what is equivalent to the first nuke. So that's gonna be fucking crazy.
Yeah, the fact that
I can't
Nolan
wait to see
just
that.
decided to do that is nuts, man.
But I'm hyped. I thought the trailer was really good.
A lot of suspenseful moments in the trailer.
Yeah, I think it could be Nolan's possibly first Best Picture win. It depends. I probably won't, but
there's so much stuff coming out that year that he probably won't win for some stupid reason.
Well, because he's not gotten Best Picture yet. He's been nominated a couple of times. I think Dunkirk and Inception, are the only 2 times he's been nominated.
Did he get nominated for Tenet? Or Interstellar?
Tenet did not get nominated for no.
Interstellar?
Interstellar didn't really score super well with critics. Dunkirk was his best shot because that's the thing is the Academy Awards, they don't like sci-fi or those kind they like their drama films or whatever that have some kind of political meaning or whatever. And I think just based on what they like, I feel like Oppenheimer is the best shot because it is a drama, a history film. So I think it has a good shot. But I'm actually hyped for it because it genuinely looks good. You have an incredible cast, and my favorite director of all time is behind it. So I have very high faith in the movie. Really looking forward to it. Trailer was great.
I feel the same way as you do, honestly. Yeah. I had no idea what it was until you told me about it, but after watching the trailer, it looks incredible. Yeah. I've only seen a couple Nolan films. I haven't seen Interstellar. Don't hate on me. I haven't seen it.
We gotta watch all his movies.
Yes, but I've seen the Dark Knight series. I've seen Tenet, and I think I've seen Dunkirk.
You seen Inception or no?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But just from what I saw in that trailer, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Everything looks so good. I like Cillian Murphy as an actor. He was great in... I know he plays in that really good...
Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, I have not seen that, but I want to see that. What else? Who else? Oh, he was in Batman Begins. He played
he's
Scarecrow.
Batman Begins. He's in Quiet Place Part 2.
Yeah, I think he's a great actor. I'm excited to see what he does with this movie and what Nolan.
Yeah, I'm hoping this could be Nolan's first big Oscar movie. I would love that because he totally deserves it for everything he's done. And then there was a little sneak peek of Creed 3. I'm not even gonna talk about that. It was basically
Dawson doesn't like Michael B. Jordan.
I don't think he's a good actor. It was basically the trailer that we've already seen spliced in with
an interview.
Him talking about, but it was kind of a weird interview because it's he's talking I wanted to push the character's limits.
It's he's talking.
He's talking as if he is the character, and it was just dumb.
Yeah.
I didn't like that sneak peek. I don't think the movie looks good, to be honest.
It'll make money because it's Creed, and the first 2 made money.
Well, Stallone's really against the movie.
Who's really against it?
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, really?
He's not even in it. He's really against it. I don't think it looks particularly good. I don't think the style of it looks great. I don't know how to describe it. I don't like Michael B. Jordan as an actor, to be honest. I don't think he's a good actor, and
he definitely won't like him as a director, too, then.
From what I've seen, just visually, I don't think it looks that good. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to Creed 3, to be honest. I think it'll be the weakest out of the 3. And then
that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and then there's Mission Impossible, which was the other thing that we got. There was a sneak peek for that, which was just showing one of Tom Cruise's stunts. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how they do stunts.
Yeah, I don't
those type of stunts.
Really have too much to say about it. It was a cool stunt. I'm excited for the movie. There you have it.
We also have... We can talk quick about Guardians. The Guardians 3 trailer came out
a while ago. It came out a couple of weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago at this point.
Yeah, but it finally got attached.
Yeah, we finally got to see it
trailer.
in theaters, which was nice.
Love In the Meantime by Space Hog and nice IMAX sound.
Yeah, I can't wait for the movie. The trailer is great. It looks funny. It looks great. It looks emotional.
Let's just hope it stays up to par with the first 2.
I think it will. I trust James Gunn a lot.
It's gonna be James Gunn's last movie with Marvel for a long time, so
or probably ever, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, he might not come back.
And really looking forward to it. Really good trailer. That actually, bringing up James Gunn, that'll be our next topic and our last topic, because this is actually a very big thing right now. Is
the DC
Superman.
Yeah.
Well, specifically Superman. So, DC is going through a huge like I don't know if you know what you want to call it. James Gunn has been hired along with Peter Safran as like the new leaders of DC. And it seems like, they're kind of resetting everything. So a bunch of projects have been canceled, and most recently, Henry Cavill is no longer returning as Superman. Despite the fact that 1 month ago he announced on his Twitter that he's back as Superman and he was in the post-credit scene for Black Adam, he is now out of the role again, which is...
he just dropped out of The Witcher, too.
Which sucks because, Henry Cavill, he's a really good Superman and he cares a lot about the character. And I feel really bad for the guy because, just to have done 3 movies essentially, then been, having issues with Warner Bros., finally coming back as the character for a post-credit scene. And then now he's gone again. It sucks. I am glad, though, that James Gunn is focusing more on Superman. The fact that we're going to be getting a new Superman movie I think is great because DC...
It's going to be kind of young Superman, right?
They've said it's going to be a younger Superman and it'll be like his early days working at the Daily Globe. Now when they say younger, they don't mean teenager. He's still going to be 20...
Early 20s,
probably. Early 20s, so it's not terrible. I'm not hyped for the movie right now or anything, but it'll be nice to actually get another Superman movie. And yeah, that's it for this video, really. That's all I have to really say. It sucks that Henry Cavill's out. Maybe they'll find another character for him to play in the new reinstated DCU.
Yeah, because they're just clean slating the whole thing.
Well, that's the thing is we don't know what they're doing because some actors it feels like they might be staying.
Yeah, what the hell's Ben Affleck said? Anything yet?
No, Ben Affleck's not. Ben Affleck's totally done as Batman, but James Gunn is saying that Ben Affleck has shown interest in directing something.
Oh.
And they're looking at getting him to direct something. Because I don't know if you know that Ben Affleck also directs.
No, I didn't know.
He doesn't just act. He's made some really good movies. He won Best Picture for
what did he make?
Argo.
Oh.
Which probably don't even know what that is, but
no, I've heard of what Argo is.
Okay, yeah, he's made some really good movies. So yeah, there you have it, folks.
That's the Avatar Way of
Water, as well as some trailer thoughts and the new DC stuff. We'll see you guys next time. I don't think we're gonna have a podcast for a while.
This might be the last one of the... This is going to be the last one.
This is totally the last podcast of the year. We will probably maybe discuss Last of Us episodes.
Does that come out in January?
That's January 15th that starts.
Yeah, we might do a couple episodes per podcast, but definitely check us out for The Last of Us because he's very much interested in seeing it. It's his favorite game. I'm very much interested in watching it now too, so... That might be the next thing, and then maybe an Ant-Man podcast. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a while, but my Discord's going off. It's definitely going to be a while before we have another review. Mm-hmm. But, he'll have videos out. He'll do a end of the year movie ranking. I'll still have a ton of videos coming out. It just won't be a podcast for a while. End of movie ranking, probably. Top 10 movies of the year. Yeah. Top 10 worst movies of the year. Maybe most disappointing. Yeah. Best games of the year. Most anticipated movies of next year. Most anticipated games of next year. I have a lot of videos coming out. So be prepared. Get those post notifications on. Hit those bells because DVB is going to be posting regularly. DVB is going to be dropping bombs like Oppenheimer drops nukes, baby.